Okay, so here's something. If we want to talk about, I'm just going to drag us all the way back to Warhammer 40,000. Somebody's saying that they are painting a Carnifex right now, which is very cool. It's a giant alien. It's a Tyranid.
Yeah.
It's one of the big.
Carnifex is like their line breaker unit.
It's their tank, basically.
Okay, their big bus off. Tanky unit. Okay.
They say they're new to the hobby and haven't played much. That's a big project if you're new to the hobby. Good on you. Tell a fun story of a game you played. If you have one with NIDS, I'll take that, please. Tyrannids.
Tyrannids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, NIDS.
Oh, I never would have got there. Thank you for telling me. Like, what?
Yeah. I don't have it. I'm one unit away from finishing painting my demonettes. I have one more to do.
Sorry.
No, it's great and I love it. It's been a fantastic time. Thank you so much. For those of you who don't know, I have a set of demonettes that Jacob gave me for my birthday. So it's the way I am now is his fault.
I'm an enabler.
Yes, it's true. But I have one more, and then I can finally start playing Kill Team with my friends, and I'm very excited. And after that, my next project is going to be a Tyranid Kill Team. So I'm very excited for that.
Nice. All of my Warhammer stories are gonna be on Loading Ready Run for the Kill Team streams. Though which I go watch them. They're fun. I got into Warhammer just before the Kill Team stream started, and was just posting hey, I got some things and blah blah blah. And then Ben jumped into my DMs and was like, hey, do you want to be on these? And I was like, you betcha, you bet I do. And then I painted my Stev, all of Stev, and it was fun, and I can't wait to play again. Yeah.
I played a lot in the tail end of 2nd edition, 3rd edition, up through 5th edition, at which point I took a break. But one of the
It's 8th now? 9th?
9th.
9th. Okay.
One of the things that I missed the most about those earlier editions of Warhammer 40k were guess range weapons. Guess range weapons, as the name suggests, you wouldn't roll to hit with them. What you would do as the player who controls that unit would be to say what range the shot was going to impact at.
Okay.
And these were typically artillery units.
Yeah, like a mortar or something.
Yeah, a mortar or a big gun or a rocket launcher of some kind. The army I played, Space Marines, had one guess range weapon, which was called a Whirlwind missile launcher. And it was just like their standard little APC with a light missile launcher on the back. I was deadly with these. And I had 2 very good experiences with it. No, actually, one very good experience with it. A friend was playing Dark Elves, or as Drukhari, but they were called Dark Elves at the time. Corvus and Asku. I actually had the older version of that model. If you can find the previous version of the Whirlwind, it was a much cruder looking one. So Drukhari, the Dark Eldar, are an ancient race of space elves who like hurting people professionally. They're very goth. They torture things to death. They're very spiky. And they run around the battlefield on like sail barges, kind of like Jabba's sail barge. And their big, expensive headquarter unit was an Archon with a bodyguard of Dark Eldar incubi, who are like, they're elite killer guys. That's the one, Corvus. That's the one. The problem was, an Incubus unit with an Archon was basically unkillable. They would kill anything in the game. They were very deadly. But their transport was extremely fragile, and if you blew up their transport, there was a chance that you could kill them all.
Ah.
Especially with a large artillery unit. And I was a terror at this. I was just an absolute terror. On turn 1 of a game against a friend, before he could even get moving, I just sniped.
You're a spawn camper, my guy.
Yeah. Oh, but it felt so good, because, It was a meta-altering event.
Was it?
In the local gaming group, because it discouraged people from making big Death Star units, because I would just blow them away.
Because you actually had to like guess the range that you were going to be firing it at, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, it was just one of those days where I'm like 46.5 inches. And just like lined it up on the middle of the thing. And to be fair, there was an element of randomness in it, because it wouldn't just hit there. You had to roll a scatter dice, which was a die with an arrow on it, which would tell you where to move the template, and then another die that would tell you how far to move the template.
Yeah.
The scatter die had two faces that said hit. This was where all of my luck went. I would consistently roll hits, which meant that the template didn't move at all. It felt good.
I'm certain
You
it
sound
did.
like kind of a nightmare to play
Yeah,
RPGs with a little bit, though.
I come to win. I don't know.
Hey,
I didn't paint 1,500 points or 2,000 points of models
Fair enough.
to dishonor them.
I like that your Warhammer strategy was essentially like, do you remember that game Scorched Earth?
Oh
With
god, I
the-
loved that game.
like Scorched Earth took over my life, and then Worms did, and then I played Worms 2,
Yep.
and then I was on the Case's Ladder. I was number 3 in the world in Worms 2 once upon a time when I was 16. I was a roper, man. I go
That's
hard.
amazing.
Yeah.
Do not ever play me in Worms. You will regret it immensely.
I look forward to that
That's
day.
the only game I'm good at is Worms. I love that that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, Scorched Earth to some degree, but those weapons get so ridiculous.
I can't claim third in the world, but in university, I used to challenge people to a game of Worms as like bets
Yeah.
to like get extra lunch tickets and stuff.
We used to invent like different, because Worms 2 was super customizable.
Yep.
We had a clan named Duff. Yes, the beer from The Simpsons, because we were teenagers.
Yeah, you were
yeah.
16.
But we invented like games like Super Sheep Racing and stuff, where like the terrain couldn't be modified or hit, but we draw like little race paths, so everyone takes a turn trying to race the Super Sheep through this like wild terrain.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, we made up Fort Ball, which is like you don't get weapons for like 10 turns or 15 turns, and you can only build girders to make a fort, and then you get like grenades and start logging. We were nuts about Worms, man.
That
was a
sounds like a
whole thing.
lot of fun.
All right, we had a challenge coming for Cameron to talk about 40K. We didn't. I'm just gonna say that's done.
Yeah.
Complete.
Most assuredly.
We could probably pre-complete a lot of that, honestly.
Yeah, I've got stories from tournaments, and it's fine. I will be talking about 40K later in the run. Stay tuned if you want to see me talk about Warhammer 40,000's